But what's a good work ethic in your mind?
I think a good work ethic is people who are committed to their job, or not just doing it to just do the job, but really want to get it right and really want to do it. And, people who are organized, they prioritize, the things that you give them based on what's most important to what's least important. And they take responsibility for their own projects. You don't want to be always reminding someone, did you do this? Did you do that? You give people projects, and the best type of people who I found that work for me is people who really take ownership and not just do what you give them, but take it one step ahead. I like people who are curious and who don't just do a job, because every job you do, you have to do your best at it. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
What's up, everybody? This is Simon. On this episode of The Ideal Hour, I have someone very special joining us, Sharon Ourian. She is not only a business lady, a mother of 3. She's very popular on Instagram. Her husband is the top celebrity skincare doctor. He's worked with famous celebrities, including Kim Kardashian, and there are so many more. Now, I'm not the best at skin, but we're going to get into it myself. Sharon, thank you so much for joining and giving us an hour to share your experiences.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're very excited. I'm excited, but I got to tell you, my wife is even more excited because what she's been doing is she's been reaching out to people that she wants to talk to, but because I have the podcast, she messages people and they go, this is a really interesting individual. But she was ecstatic when you said yes. So you made her day. And,
that's so sweet.
I appreciate it.
I wish I could meet her. We were in Florida at the same time. I wish I'd met her.
I know. It's kind of crazy. Backstory, everybody. We were in Florida at the same time at the same hotel.
Yeah.
Our kids met. Your son and my daughters dug a big hole in the sand. And and then your daughter fell in love with our little one and she wanted to babysit, but we didn't get to meet. And I know you guys were very busy that trip. So that's okay. But Sharon, you've been very busy all the time. I recently saw a picture or a little video of you. You were at the Oscars. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Describe that scene to us for those that are kind of like interested. And I'm curious because we got invited to the Grammys next week. That's or something fun. Like that. So what happens at the Oscars?
It was fun. It's interesting because I used to watch a lot of TV, but I haven't for so long. I don't know if a lot of us have. So I just didn't recognize a lot of people. So I wasn't getting as excited. So I was going there. I was like, well, everyone's really excited, but the energy was great.
Okay.
It was lots of fun. And, it looks really over the top on TV. But once you get there and you're like in the room, it's like, any other great party.
I see.
And, but yeah, I didn't recognize. I recognized.
Would you rather be at Club 11 or live in Miami instead? Is that a more fun scene?
I like Miami. Club 11, I don't know. Okay. I mean, my friend owns it, so
okay.
We go there a couple of times just because
it's fun.
At this club, but it's not our scene.
It's not your scene. You're a little bit out of that scene right now. It's not my scene either. Yeah. I don't know how we did it in our youth. We would, we could go out and do all that crazy stuff, but
I know till like 4 a.m. Yeah, we barely made it to New Year's.
I'll double that. All right. So let's talk about Cyberactive Online. You're not just a pretty wife, etc. You're doing things. You got kids. But you're still working. What inspired you to start Cyberactive Online? What differentiates it? Give us a little bit about that.
So I was in my last year of law school, and all during law school, I had worked for a test prep company, which was like the 3rd largest test prep company in the country called Test Masters. Prepares people for taking the LSAT, GMAT, GRE, and SAT.
Mm-hmm.
And I was helping, expand that company nationwide from just being a California company. And also taking it online. We were building like a learning management system. So I was very, I had my hands in with like the software developers making, wireframes. I was very much like into the software world. So my mom had gotten a traffic ticket. And I said, well, I'm sure you can dismiss it online. This was back in 2000. Actually, 1999, sorry. And lo and behold, there was no traffic school course online.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, this would be a very interesting idea. So I started looking into it, and no one had done it. And I just started like, I don't know, one thing led to another. I started like lobbying courts. I started like writing to judges and saying, wouldn't it be great if your defendants can take traffic school on the internet? No one knew what the internet was. They were like, the internet, like, oh my God, people can cheat. And I'm like, no, we can, we can stop cheating, and came up with all different ways that are even used today. Such as like, biometrics. My company was one of the first to do biometrics even.
Wow.
And different kind of hooking up with like different softwares like Experian to pull their information to make sure they weren't cheating. So I got it approved in Los Angeles County.
Okay.
And from there, it just, I was the very first.
Wow, you were a pioneer in this field.
Of online traffic school. And
That's
then
crazy.
Right after that, it started going from state to state to state. And we just got it approved, one state at a time: Nevada, Texas, Florida, Virginia, Ohio. I won the bid. What really changed the whole like landscape of my company was Indiana put out a request for proposal by the government to be the only provider of traffic school in the whole state.
Oh, wow.
And I applied for that, and all the other companies who applied were local companies. And my company won, and all the local companies brought disputes, and they
jealous.
They went crazy. And the legislature actually held a session to talk about if a local company should do it. And I hired a law firm, but I went there to Indiana and I got in front of the legislature and I said, look, it's not about a local company. It's about an internet company. You guys want to make this, you guys put out a request for proposal for this to be done by an internet company. None of these people are internet companies. My company has the most experience. We responded and we won.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Indiana started sending people to my website, like
no other,
no advertising. And so that gave me a lot of the funds to then start online driver ed and hire people. And then we expanded it all across the nation. So,
wow.
And then we did it like both, business to consumer and business to business. For example, we are the only partner of cave12.com, which is like the largest high school in the country. They utilize our driver ed courses. And we have exclusive contracts with some municipalities in different states. So that's cyber active, and it's been running. And I stopped running it a few years ago, and I hired a company to run it. But unfortunately, they weren't able to run it as,
efficiently. Or didn't
they
care.
lost a few of the approvals. So I recently took it back.
Good.
But, sort of trying to, I'm back in the mix now.
In the peak of it, how many, to be nationwide, you have to have quite a bit of tech support, customer service, obviously the back end. How many people did you manage, and what were some of the challenges and some of the rewards of that? Because it's not easy. I know having employees remotely, in person, et cetera. It's
well, it used to be all in person. In my office in Beverly Hills, we had a software department, compliance department, customer service department, R&D department, accounting, like a real company, and somewhere around, 70 employees.
Wow.
And then after COVID, everybody became remote. And that's when I realized, wait a second, you can literally have people not be at your office anymore. So I started hiring people in different countries because, the customer service, we have people in the Philippines, Mexico, all over. If American Express could do it, we could do it.
Absolutely.
So we did it. And now our software developers are in Russia and they're like our .NET, which is the language that my courses are written in my LMS. And the we also have some in India.
Mm-hmm.
So we have an office in India, and we have offices in the Philippines.
I love it.
Mexico.
I love it. I'm going to tell you right now, I love it because I had a very similar situation. So before, and just sharing a little bit, before COVID, we bought this building. We remodeled this building for many more people to come in and work. And at the time,
I did the same thing.
It's like my wife had also 70 or more employees, and then I had employees. And then after COVID, and no one wants to come in. We have this office. I was just actually today, I put it up on my Instagram. I was at Intuit. They built this brand new building.
I'm very good friends with Intuit. We work with them. Actually, I'm going to put a plug in for Intuit. Intuit is the best company.
They are. Their ethics and their honesty and transparency, and the way they even have a table of where it was founded by the founders. It was just so crazy, like this old wooden table.
You might think it's just, Intuit is just like an accounting software. Intuit is a financial dream. They have like transformed our whole company.
It's such crazy. And I was just there, and the building was beautiful. I may do a video on it, but not many employees even in that office. And I was surprised because I'm like, who would not want to come in? I had a avocado toast for $2 because they subsidized the food. It was free coffee. I had like 3 coffees. I don't know, when something's free, I jumped on it. But anyway, it was just the same thing here, where after COVID, we had this building, and you mentioned you had a building, but I started hiring remote from my travel agency, and it's been a lifesaver. People work harder. They're happy there. They're happy to have a job.
What happened to ours was I did a brand new build out of all white office, everything modern. My employees were so excited. COVID happened. We closed it, and I've been paying, you don't even want to know how much, for 4 years for an empty office. 4 years.
It's brutal.
This is the 5th year. This is my last year, thank God. But so everybody wants to work at home, and I'm okay with it. Listen, happy employees make a better company.
Sure.
I always believe you have more productivity in the office and with collaboration and people working together. But you have to roll with the times. You can't compete with an internet company that's going to give them, 1 day a week flex schedules. Come 1 day a week here, you get free food, free this, and the rest of the time work at home, do it your own schedule. Otherwise, you lose all the talent to the different companies, and so it's very important.
I agree. It's hard to compete with $2 avocado toasts that are fresh and these work schedules that are in demand. You're well said. And I think, but the beauty about that also, Sharon, is when you agree, your schedule is also a little bit more flexible, because if a lot of the workforce is remote, you could take a meeting from Miami or wherever you are and still feel the same, like you're being productive, right?
I totally agree. Yeah. I love that. And we all work on Slack, and, it's like, we're all on it, and we work like, I can talk to my, team at any time, and it's really nice. I like it.
So guys, advice from Sharon is adapt, right? That's adapt to the changing times and make sure that you're staying ahead of it. You don't want to be the company that's kind of behind the wheel or behind.
Especially with the internet. Things are evolving daily. You have to stay ahead of the curve.
Very well put.